Brahmanome. Brahmanome. Brahman's been a Toastmaster for 25 years, has attained the DTM distinction twice. He's the current club growth director for District 86 and was Coach of the Year for 2020. Professionally, he's a master coach with respect to professional mastery and leadership, and has acted as a consultant and coach to large organizations. Through his leadership, MI Speak Toastmasters has been designated as one of the top 4 clubs globally. Brahma is also the immediate past president of MI Speak Toastmasters?
MySpeak, yes.
MySpeak Toastmasters. MySpeak Toastmasters has been awarded the Club of the Year in 2021 in District 86. So please help me welcome Brahmanome.
Thank you, Wesley. Wesley, remind me, how long do I have to talk?
1 hour.
1 hour, all right. Well, we'll make it worth 1 hour. So what I would do is that I'd like to request everyone to turn their videos on so that I can see you, because you can see me. So it'd be good to see you as well. So let's have our videos on. Thank you very much for turning them on. So we can interact and have eye contact, and look at each other and see that we are here. It's more of a human touch if the videos are on. So thank you very much for coming today. And thank you for coming, especially because I'm from Canada and I've been invited to speak. So if you turned out, wondering who this guy is, well, here I am. And what Wesley told you in the introduction is pretty accurate. So thank you very much for that introduction, Wesley. What we want to talk about is, of course, club growth and membership growth, right? Before I do that, I would like to go around the room and see what are your questions, what's festering in your mind, what are your struggles, what are your obstacles? In Canada, in my district, most of the clubs have a problem with getting guests into the clubs and then converting those guests into members. And as a club growth director, I hear that every day. I have to coach and train people about that and visit clubs and assure them that there are ways and means of doing that, especially during a pandemic. And in Ontario, where I am, we have a complete lockdown. All the restaurants are closed. Well, of course, only the grocery stores are open. So even if you had a vaccination, the 3 doses, the booster shot as well, you can't go into a restaurant anymore. So that's what we are facing here in Ontario. Having said that, let's go around the room and introduce ourselves. You know all about me by now. It's still good to see Chitra Desai. I met her a few weeks back in another club setting. So Chitra, how are you?
Thank you. I'm doing fine. We have also cold weather here right now. Regarding the membership growth question, I will tell I'm an area director this year. So I have 5 clubs under me. One club is doing great and they are meeting only in person. So sometime I guess you had to see your situation because they are in person only, but they are doing great. Actually, they are already achieved 7 or maybe 8 DCP goals.
Right.
And, of course, membership goal met way before. So the other club is, I won't name, but they had a good membership. But when renewal came, the members drop down. Either they move away or they have some family problem. So that is the issue. I guess we all are struggling. So right now we feel like we have another renewal coming April 1st.
Yes.
And I'm concerned about that. So I'm telling my clubs that don't stop and don't satisfied that, okay, we have enough members, because you don't know how many are going to renew.
Correct.
So you should have some cushion there. And I'm trying to kind of bring a reality to them. of course, they are working hard, but right now the situation is some of my clubs have started doing the virtual and with the hybrid meeting. And actually, my home club, I'm a president of Vocalizer Club, and we are doing a hybrid meeting. And it's helping us a lot. Right now, we have, the base was 13 members. Right now, we have 16 paid members. Couple of us still in the pipeline. They are ready to join.
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say that one formula is not going to fit to everybody. You have to see your own situation and then decide. Publicity is the main thing. I think I have experience, like we have my vocalizer club last month, we have joined starting Eventbrite. Of course you have to pay, but our club can afford. And this last meeting, I had the prospective member from Eventbrite. So I think more publicity will helpful too. This is my experience till now. I think I can probably give other people to speak. So I'm going to.
Well, thank you very much. Those are very legitimate concerns and obstacles and the things that we are all facing. We don't know which way the crisis is going, whether clubs should be closing, opening. I mean, in terms of whether they're online or offline or physical or hybrid, or what should we do? And as you said, one of your clubs is successful at meetings physically, and kudos to them. That's great. So we will talk a little bit more about all those different things. And then we have Brenda Rice.
Yes, I'm from the North Alabama Advance Club in District 77, Division A, Area 11, and I'm a treasurer. And we just had Speechcraft in the last 3 months or 4 months ago, and we got one member. But I just wanted to sign up for this because I'm thinking about being an area director, and wanted to know a little bit more about getting memberships.
Awesome. Perfect. Then we have Etta Williams.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Etta Williams. I work with public relations. I'm in District 77. And the question I have, are y'all getting better response from people on social media? And if so, what platform are you using?
So you want to find out whether social media is effective? Etta?
Yes. How effective is your social media?
Yeah, like I said, Eventbrite helped us recently. We just started last. Are you talking about the free social media or the paid? Because Facebook also is helpful. I think Instagram and LinkedIn also, I have got the feedback that, so that is not a single one I can tell you, but what my experience about the Eventbrite and Facebook.
Okay, well, we will shed some light on that. We'll see what we can do. Tom Hagman.
Hi, Bram. I am a member of Gulf Coast Toastmasters, part of District 77, although I recently moved to Ohio. So I meet by virtual only. Our club is going through the same issues that everyone else is. We've been closed down for a while doing virtual meetings. Then we tried doing hybrid meetings for a while. We're back to doing virtual meetings. We actually have two issues that we deal with. One being obviously addition of new members. And again, we're going through the same thing that everybody else is. But the second issue that we're dealing with is getting existing members to participate. So we had a meeting just this past Thursday, and there were only 4 out of, I think there's maybe 9 active members. So we're not a big club. We were much bigger at one time, but it is typically the same 4 people that show up. and they've been around for a while. I've been a member of the club for about 8 years now. So it's not only bringing in new people, but it's getting the current people to come to the meetings.
Yeah.
So those are the issues that we're facing.
Let me try and answer that a little bit right now, a little bit about why members may not keep coming. Is, no one wants to leave a good party. No one wants to sort of leave a place where they can have fun and learn at the same time. So if learning and fun is present at the same time, people will come. I think they tend to come anyways, and we don't know, but that's my experience. And what I mean by this is that sometimes our meetings are very rote. They keep repeating week after week: speakers, table topics, evaluations, speakers, table topics, evaluations, speakers, table topics, evaluations. Everybody falls asleep after that, right? And so what do we do as Toastmasters to make it interesting, exciting, or different at our meeting so that members turn up? There's a couple of things that we need to do. One is, of course, quality meetings. We'll talk a little bit about that, quality meetings. The other thing is the meeting fun at the same time? Is it interesting? Is it a bit different? Are you trying out something new? For example, in my Toastmasters clubs, I belong to about 9 different ones over the years because I moved around in Ontario. But in a few of the Toastmasters, the bigger Toastmasters clubs that I've been into, and to make it very interesting, what we did is, for example, one Toastmasters evening, we had an improv night. An improv night meant, of course, like an improv show. And so it's a extended table topics, but in an improv format. And so either 2 or 3 people will have to come up, and then you'll give them a subject and they have to do an improv on it and things like that. And it becomes hilarious when everybody starts laughing together and so on. And when people start to laugh together, they gel, they bond. And when they bond, they want to come back. The other thing is, once we had a Star Wars theme meeting. And when you have a Star Wars theme, most people know Star Wars anyways, I think, especially in America, I think. Some Canadians don't know Star Wars, and that's okay. But anyways, maybe choose a theme that is a bit more common, Star Trek or whatever it is. Once I chose a theme called pirates, just the one word, pirates. And so, there's so many books on pirates, and Pirates of the Caribbean is the most famous movie series that happened in the recent years. And so, people put up their eye patches and brought swords and, walk the plank on, hey, yeah, the pirate I am, and so on. So those vocal variety that goes on with it. And then in Halloween, for example, we had a theme to dress up in a costume and become that character and do a speech based on that character. And I was the chair of the meeting, and I was Count Dracula. Right now, here's the thing: I didn't have a costume for Count Dracula, and who cares, anyways, right? But here's what I did. There's video filters on Zoom, right? And if I can find that video filter here, let me see. And I put this on, and now this is not Count Dracula. This is probably Zorro, right? But I said, I'm Count Dracula, and I put on a cloak around me and said, hey, I'm Count Dracula, and I'm going to drink your blood, and better be O positive. And we had such fun. So if you can change that once in a while, it is great. So I just wanted to say that now rather than wait at the end, because that is the biggest problem: is why do members get bored? It is speech, table topics, evaluation, speech, table topics, evaluation, and I fall asleep, right? So do that once in a while. Why not? I mean, we are Toastmasters, and especially if you are an experienced Toastmaster, you probably are good by now at table topics. So an improv or a character-based one is like an extended table topic, really. That's what it is, right? And so I think the more experienced Toastmasters can inject some fun in it, and the younger ones or the more junior Toastmasters who've just joined will just come along and tag along and join in the fun eventually when they say that you are having fun and you are laughing and everybody else starts to laugh. And so that is one of those things that you have to break the monotony.
Those are great ideas. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So anyways, I thought I'd better say that now rather than leave it at the end. So because I would tend to forget that. So, okay. Aura Nelson.
Hey, my name's Aura Nelson. I'm from District 77. I'm the president of the Troy University Toastmasters. And so we're a collegiate club, and our member situation is a little bit different because every 4 years you have a totally different set of people. And one of our things is that we want students to be officers, and members of the community can like join and be members, but we are sponsored by our business school. So we have to have student members being the officers. And we've kind of focused on the student aspect and getting students to join. And we've kind of neglected people in the community, and some of them have found us, but we haven't actively sought them out. And it's a little bit difficult because they see university in our name and they're like, oh, it's just for the students, it's not for us. And it's kind of hard to break that misconception.
It is difficult to break that misconception. I agree. Currently, on my team, in the club growth team, I have the club extension chair, and she founded a club called University of Guelph Toastmasters. Guelph is a very small town. It's a university-based town. And she founded a club in the university called University of Guelph, but it is open to the public, and they have, I think, about 30 members currently, both students and off campus. And then we have also university clubs. One university club has only got 6 members. Membership just plummeted. So it's also about how you manage the club, how you're promoting the club, the conversations we're having with the students and with the student body, and how you're promoting it outside the club. It is very important, your social media, what you're saying on your social media, how you're saying it, and what you're posting on social media. And of course, if you're posting it outside of the university and attracting people outside, the languaging has to be different so that people who are not students can hear what you're saying and come and join. So that is an important aspect of reaching out to a bigger community outside of your smaller community, because you seem to be an open club, right? That's why you're looking for people from outside. You know what, Aura? If you ask Wesley to get you my email address and then contact me, I'll put you in touch with Stephanie. Stephanie is from University of Guelph. She's got just a PhD currently. She's a young person like you, maybe a bit older than you, of course, because she's got a PhD. I think you're probably younger, but she knows great tactics, and she'll be very willing and very pleased to come and speak to you. And it's always good to sort of speak to like-minded people. So have a conversation with her. So Wesley, if you can connect Aura with me, and then we can have her connect with the specialty club, university clubs, and then see what we can create out of that. The other thing, of course, Aura, is that students leave every 4 years, but if you keep it as it's going to be a hybrid meeting from now on, then when students leave, they can still attend your club, all right? But if it is going to be, okay, once this pandemic is over, it's going to be only physical, then yeah, you'll have rapid turnover. Actually, you'll have rapid turnover every semester even, right? And things like that happen. And I advise all university clubs from now on to be a hybrid club, if not an online club, because that really helps in retaining members. One semester they're over here, next semester they could have gone to another college or left town because they were from another town, so when they went back home, and then they went to a college nearby their home, whatever, I don't know. So it is always good to have fun meetings, keep them engaged, and then have a hybrid meeting so they never leave. No one wants to leave a good party, as I would always say. If people are laughing together, they bond. So okay, so those are the few solutions there. Lisa Johnson, Lat.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
I'm new. Well, not so new. I joined the end of October. And I've always wanted to join a Toastmaster. I just didn't know the wherewithal or how to find a group or member, and somebody, my mentor, sought me out. And after all these years, I guess the season was right. I came tonight because I took on the responsibility I accepted the responsibility in 2022 to become an official officer of our Toastmasters meeting, and I represent District 77. It frustrates me sometimes because I'm a go-getter, I'm very proactive, and I know that I can't expect everybody to be like me, but that's one of the problems I struggle with. So because I have an interest in Toastmasters, I expect everybody in my circle to have the same interest as me. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Uh-huh.
But I invited at least 6 people. Some people came to visit. Some people came and left.
Yeah.
Nobody was determined to stay. But my mentor tells me that I will receive 10 no's before I get the 1 yes. I'm struggling with that. And that's what I have to bring to the table tonight.
Well, you know, if you got a yes every time you asked and it was always a yes, then you should be in your own business. You'll be a millionaire instantaneously, right? But that is always the case. It's a case of numbers, of course. Plus when you're talking to people, how you talk to them is very, very important before they even come to your club. And when they come to your club, what conversations you have with them during and all that. So that we will talk about later anyways. But all those conversations are very, very important. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Then we have Mckinley Curtis.
Well, good evening. I will tell you that I am so proud to see some of my members on the club. So I'm the current VPE of VA Voices. I'm in District 77. I'm also a mentor for Aura at Troy University. So yeah, I make my visits. Matter of fact, I'm planning on going down there this Thursday. But as I listen to the conversation, part of this, what I wanted to do is just listen in and see what's going on. I am concerned with my Troy University. I'm not so much concerned with my home club, VA Voices. We try to keep things real, sometimes not real ridiculous, but we have fun. You know, we, like you say, no one wants to leave a good party. We have every other, on the even months, we have at the end of every 4th Tuesday, we have a theme and whatnot that we do. And we're getting ready to have a black tie event, thanks to Etta Williams, who is also part of the team that we're going to do in February. So we've been doing some things every other on the even months within VA Voices, and our membership is maintaining where we should be at as far as 20. Can we do better? Sure we can. I'm glad to have, like I said, Lisa Johnson led as far as the team. She came on board not too long ago. We're going to get her in the mix of doing specific things, but just being engaged is the main thing. And so what I try to do as a former military, just to bring the leadership to someone inspired and keep all folks engaged. But I just would take one more minute as far as when it comes to Aura with the Troy, with the students. And I know that she is having challenges because, again, you have individuals that might be on foreign travel that want to go study abroad and whatnot, that will be part of the club and will leave. So as we go down there for our next meeting on Thursday, we're going to be talking about how we can bring more members in. And you made a good point as far as social media. She has a lot of youth within her club. So again, just probably tacking on that, and maybe, you know, trying to get into how we can do something on TikTok. Who knows, right? But again, just find those different platforms. But again, I'm just glad to be part of this conversation.
And you know, I totally agree there. You know, Facebook is not the only thing. TikTok, some young people even use Snapchat. I have never used Snapchat. I don't even know what it is. But and TikTok, I downloaded TikTok, but I've never used it. And so there's all viable platforms. Whatever gets you to your audience, please use it. Absolutely. Hattie Smith, are you there?
Okay, yes.
hello.
Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. How's everyone?
Very good.
Okay, I am also a member of VA Voices, and we're here in Birmingham, District 77. And as McKinley said, he's our VPE, I'm the secretary. We do a lot of different things at our club. We're constantly switching things up and having fellowships online and playing Family Feud and different things like
Oh,
that.
great.
So
Awesome.
it keeps everyone engaged, and we rotate between the members who facilitates the fellowship. So we get everybody involved. This February, one person is doing it, and then April, two other people will do it. So we keep that rotated around to keep them involved, get their ideas, and figure out what it is that they want to do that's fun. And our meetings are fun because we follow protocol, but we're not stiff. We're not stiff. And so it's fun. And the thing that we are beginning to work on now that needs work from my point of view is like our website. So that's where Etta Williams comes in. She's coming in to work on and pull up our website because she knows a lot more about that than I do, because I'm like about websites like you are about TikTok. I don't do that well. But again, I just wanted to hear ideas and just get in the mix of the conversation tonight just to see what was going on in different areas.
Super. Okay. Let's keep this short. Just tell me the obstacles because we might run out of time. Otherwise, we got only 1 hour. I've already answered a few questions, but Kathy Johnson, what's your question or obstacle? Or has it already been mentioned? Are you there, Kathy?
Yes,
No?
I am. Hi, everybody. Oh. Yes, I'm Kathy Johnson, and I'm the VPPR with the with the club here in Panhandle, Florida, part of District 77. And I am just so happy to join you all tonight. I am new to the Toastmasters Club. I'm also new to my VPPR role, and I'm really here to learn tonight. Our club seems to be doing pretty well. We recently added 2 new members after our open house.
Awesome.
We are a hybrid club right now, and that's working out pretty well for us. Sometimes we have members who actually go to our venue, and then we also have our members that are online looking to learn exactly. I like what you talked about earlier about adding fun to the meetings and adding some improv there. So I'm taking some good notes and seeing what I can take back to add to our club to increase the engagement with our current members and also find good ways to bring in some even more new members so we can do great things with our club in Panhandle. Thank you.
Thank you. Rakita? No? Oh, there she is. Hey, Rakita.
Hi, I'm sorry I got on late, but I'm glad to be here. I'm not sure what your question was.
The question is, do you have any obstacles or problems in your club that I need to address?
Well, I have just joined Redstone Toastmasters, which is a club that's at the Huntsville, Madison area.
Right.
But I am a longtime Toastmaster, like 13 years. My club is still in New York, and I'm still a member of that club virtually, even though I'm down here. So I am the new VP of membership for my Huntsville club here. So some things that that I feel have worked well. My goal is to try to implement them with the club that I'm a member of now. The pandemic has affected this club, like a lot of people, a lot of clubs that are struggling with people who have visited the club. From what I understand, it's not a shortage of people visiting, but for whatever reason, we're just trying to make sure that we can convert them to members. And then people who were members of the club, either they don't want to do the virtual thing, but then they don't want to come in person either because they're nervous, about being amongst other people. So I'm just here to learn, to see what's what's working for other people that I can glean, and
Awesome.
there's always something to learn.
There is, absolutely. Thank you. And then Michelle Williams. You're muted, Michelle.
I'm sorry. I'm a little bit late as well. I didn't get on as soon as I was hoping. I'm from Greater Gadsden Speakers up in Gadsden, north of Birmingham. And we have, our club is struggling just a little bit right now. We've got 6 members in. We lost a lot through the COVID transition, of course, and I think that's affected a lot of people. So we're strictly online right now. We just procured a venue for us to be able to start meeting in person, to have a hybrid meeting. So hopefully the end of January or the first week of February, we should be able to meet. So I'm really excited about being able to do that. We have several people that said they would come if we met in person. We literally lost all but 2 of our members when COVID happened, as far as attending online. So that took a big chunk from us. The demographics of our area is a little bit different. We don't really have any businesses here. We have, any large businesses. Like the biggest thing here is any kind of eating thing you can have, they have here in Gadsden. There's chicken places, McDonald's and burgers and restaurants and things like that. The biggest employer, I think, is probably the Gadsden Hospital.
Right.
We've lost Goodyear, we've lost the steel plant, we've lost a lot of these other places. And so to glean from this area has been a little bit difficult just for the demographics. And we're just trying to get people from the community college that's here. That hasn't been too successful, but we have tapped into a Job Corps. And I think that we're going to be able to have some success with them, but we just want to be able to maintain what we get and just trying to find where the bodies are, basically.
I hear you. That is a common problem everywhere, where as soon as you go online, members leave. When you're online, people want to go physical. When you meet physically, people want to go online, and so on and so forth. You see, here's the thing. 1/3 of the members have joined Toastmasters International as membership after COVID hit and there was closure and we went all online. 1/3 of the membership has never known a physical meeting. And so as we go along and as more members join in your online meetings, fresh who has never been on a physical meeting, when you go to physical, if you're only thinking of physical, that's the other side of the coin. In that case, you'll see the flip side happening afterwards, if that's the case. And so with the uncertainty, except for those that are already meeting physically, and will keep physical, and I'm sure there's local laws and whatever state laws that you have to adhere to meet physically. But in light of that, if you're meeting physically and you're successful, kudos to you. And that's great. But as you can hear from most of the people here, they don't know which way to go. There's uncertainty, and it's very uncertain. And they're very there's a lot of ambiguity that we have to work with. The only thing certain currently is, can we be online for a while to come, and can we go hybrid once this is over? Which means that you can draw membership from a wider range of area rather than your local area, because as we've heard, and it is true in Canada as well, people who are just trying to draw members from a local geographic area are having a difficulty. And during the physical days, we either met in a library or community center or in a place where we could stick posters, on the notice board of the venue that we met in. And that is not available for most of us, to stick to stick flyers and so on, and to get people to inquire. And when we are having a meeting, we could have put a nice big sign outside of a meeting room saying, hey, we're having a Toastmasters meeting, come in, and learn about communication, leadership, and we'll teach you everything that you need to know about public speaking. We used to have those signs outside the meeting room, and people would pop in, and now that is not available for most of us. So the only thing left for us is really social media. Now, I know that the general population in North America tends to be a bit older in the clubs. When we have joint meetings in India, most of the people in there are 20, 21, 22. Their club residents are 23, 24 years old. And if you come to Canada, our average age is 40, 45, 50. And our club residents are in that age range. Huge disparity. And therefore, the use of social media, there's a huge disparity in use of social media, how to use social media, how to conduct yourself on social media. There's a lot of big, huge gaps. I would suggest that, and in my club, before I even said that, in my club, we have members who are 18 years old and 81 years old, and a big range. And we have taught everyone to use Zoom effectively, to use all the technology effectively, including WhatsApp. We use WhatsApp predominantly to communicate with each other, and the messaging system is very easy, and to use social media. And in social media, when you urge your members to use social media, because every member is accountable for bringing guests in. The number one reason why guests come in is word of mouth. 80% of the guests come in because of word of mouth. So it's your family, your colleagues, the people that you know within your reach, or your friends that you've never met, but they are on Facebook, they are on LinkedIn, they are on TikTok, they are on Snapchat. You've never met them, but you become friends with them. Or they're following you and you're following them. So have your members get on social media. Now, if they say, oh, it's privacy issue, tell them to put in just the name. Don't put in your age. Don't put in your address. You don't have to put anything. Everything can be private. You don't have to disclose anything else. And then what you can do is post the graphics that your club is producing by your VP of PR or your VP of PR committee members who are producing the graphics. Post them online on social media. Now, if instead of one person doing it, we use the VP of PR. Now, if there are 5, 6, 7 people are posting that on social media, then there's a bigger traction. Now, when one person posts on social media, have the other members like the post, comment on the post, and share the post. When you like, comment, and share, there's an organic growth that happens throughout the social media. Now, let me give you an example. If I can bring it up here, if I can find, there it is. Just give me a second and I'll bring it up on my device here. As to what now, before I show you this, I'll tell you that my speak has been very successful. We started in February of 2020. I was the club coach. In 2020, I was assigned the club coach. There were only 2 active members. There were 8 members on the books, but only 2 were active. The other 6 didn't want to be members and didn't care. And they didn't renew in March. Now, within a month of me being a club coach and only 2 members, the pandemic hit, right? So what did we do? We used social media extensively, and we kept it very, very simple. So let me just share you. Oh, there you go. Right behind me, if you can see that, right? This is the social media graphic, right? And so that you can see better, I better change the color here. So that's what the graphic looks like. As you can see, it's got the club name, the logo, the picture of the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster's name, the date and time, and the theme of the week. That's it. Nothing else. As you can see, it's very simple. And this attracted a lot of people because, most graphics tend to be complicated. There's colors running around, it has to be colorful and all sorts of different things on it and all sorts of different information. There isn't any. And we gained big traction because people like simple things. If you look at, I'm afraid to say, but you may not like the iPhone, but if you look at the iPhone, it's very simple, right? We're not complicated at all. And now Apple today is worth $3 trillion because of the simplicity and the ease with which they bring the product to market. And that is what your job is, to bring simplicity and ease in the market. So your service and your product should look very simple and yet effective. And so when you put something like this in, and then, in the write-up to this graphic here, you will write up, for example, it's collaborative leaders is the theme. So you will write up what is collaborative leadership? Why are we meeting? What does this theme mean? And so a short little paragraph with the date and the Zoom link where they need to register goes in the social media write-up. See, there's no link at all here, because it's not clickable. So, we live in a click economy, by the way. If you put the link in here or an email address here, see, and then you tell people to email this address or click this, they are not able to click a JPEG file. So That's why there's no link on this file here. Instead, it's in the write-up just above this graphic with the link. And they click the link and they register and then they come to the meeting, right? Simple things like that. We grew the membership from 2 members in February. In June of 2020, we had 23 members. We were President's Distinguished. In June of 2021, we were 53 members and President's Distinguished. Currently, we have 58 members, and we had 10 DCP points in November. And globally, our ranking today is we are number 2 globally. Simple methods of social media strategy on Facebook only, right? And I said to everyone, if I can do it, then anybody else can. Because I'm a pretty old guy. I'm a young guy person, so if I can do it, everybody else can. And we teach everyone in our club, whether you're 18 years old or the oldest is 81 years old, they are on social media. Well, not each and every one of them. There's some people who just don't want to be on social media, but there's quite a number of people who are on social media and promoting and doing all sorts of things. Plus, what else we have on social media? We interview people, our own members. For example, if the meeting is on Saturday, on Thursday or Friday, somebody will interview the Toastmaster of the day. What is the meeting about? Why is this theme the theme that you're choosing? And it'll be a live broadcast on social media. And so that's an addition. And when people see live broadcast, and Facebook loves that because then they give you more organic growth. So yes, you have to spend a little bit more time on social media, but you're working with people's psychology. You're working with your own psychology of changing around things and putting a little bit more effort, because things are different. They're not the same as they were before. That means that it has to have some more effort and thinking outside the box and doing things a bit differently, so that who you can reach and how you can reach people is different. I see a hand up there. Yes, Chitra.
So I think I did not get where you put the meeting link in the,
It's in the write-up. You know, on Facebook, you write up, whatever you write up, it's in text format, right? That's where the link is, with the text. Right?
So every meeting you just put theme of the week, you change every meeting. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Every meeting, of course, is a different theme, right?
Okay.
And so every meeting there's a different graphic, and every meeting, we post. Every meeting there's a different write-up, and every meeting there's a different Toastmaster of the day, and so on. So yeah, absolutely. Here's another one, right? And then here's another one. See, that was me doing presentation. And then here's another one, right? There was a workshop. We did a championship speaking workshop. So, and so on and so forth, right? Every week there's something different. There's sometimes a workshop. Sometimes we'll have, every 6 to 7 weeks, we will have a past world championship of public speaker come and speak at the meeting, or past international president, or somebody who is well known in the Toastmaster circle come and speak at the club. So that also breaks up the monotony and keeps the members engaged, because they are seeing something different. They want to, of course, hear somebody from outside of the club come and speak. So even the district champions of evaluation, table topic champions, or the district champion at speaking, right? Invite them to your club and have them speak. And in a virtual meeting, especially, they can be just about anywhere in the world, and you can invite them. So you can invite them, somebody from India who is a champion in India, to come and speak. And how do you find them? We all find them on social media. Toastmasters International has got a great group on Facebook, and if you put in some requests there, people will reply. People reply to your request. I need somebody to speak. Do you know anybody who is a great speaker? Do you know somebody who's a great humorous speaker? And people will flood you with information, or they'll tell you, I want to speak at your club. When are you having this event? And so that is how we succeeded, simply by using social media and asking for help and asking for who knows humor speaker, who knows the world championship of public speaking, or just reach out to them yourself and send them an email, and they reply, and they want to be serving, they want to serve, and they want to sort of promote themselves, so they will do that for you. All right. So don't hesitate to ask. If you don't ask, guess what the answer is? No, right? So always ask, and it doesn't matter who it is. In September, no, in August, as soon as the last convention ended and Verity Price won the championship, I was sitting at my desk with a message to Verity Price, and as soon as she won, I clicked the button go, and I sent her a message saying, can you come and speak at my club? That's what I did. And fortunately, we also have, she's from South Africa, and we have a couple of members in my club from South Africa. So I said to them as well, write to Verity Price. So they wrote to her as well. And she replied, and she came to the club and she spoke within 2 weeks of her winning the international speech contest. Same with, we had Margaret Page come in and speak to us a couple of months back. And when I first wrote to her, she said, I'm not going to come to any club because I'm very busy. Everybody around the globe is asking me to go and speak. So I can't really come unless it is, a big anniversary. Well, I said, we don't have a big anniversary, but we just won the Club of the Year award from the district. Next thing I know, like 5 days before the event, she said, yes, I'll come and speak. All we did was ask. And ask and ask and ask. And when you do such things, your members will say, wow, we have the past, or no, we have the international president come and speak, or some other past international president, you ask them to come and speak. Voila. So that's another way of generating interest, and that's how you use social media. So who's going to use that strategy? Say, hey, everyone should be using that strategy and helping each other. There's like lots of champion speakers right across the globe, and I'll be all too happy to come and speak to you. There's, for example, a great person that I know. Her name is Fernando. I think it's in Malaysia or Singapore. And I forget today where he's from. Great comedian. I mean, humorous speaker. Amazing. He does amazing workshops in Asia. And I've often asked him, but I've never been able to get him. And one day I will get him as well. He's the only person I haven't got him yet. We have a hand up there. McKinley. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on.
Yes, yes, McKinley. So I would tell you that it's all about planning. I have already lined up a speaker for our 18th year anniversary. So again, everything that you're talking about is true, but again, you have to plan in advance. And I think that's the key. So for VA Voices, we have our speaker lined up for our 18th year anniversary. We're going to be bringing someone in already but I've done that probably about 5 months ago.
Exactly. So, though I've said that some like the international president currently just played 3-4 days before, but we had been trying to ask her about 2-3 months beforehand, and then something happened and she just said yes. Or Verity Price, because she just won and I just sent it, and then we had connections in South Africa that she came to speak. But most other speakers, I mean, we had Michael Carr come and speak, and quite a number of other past international speakers, champions come and speak. That takes planning of at least 2 months or more before you can bring them to the club, because also your club needs to do a good PR. Once, if you know they're coming, then you need to do a lot of PR out there saying this World Championship of Public Speaker is coming to speak. Come and hear what a World Championship of Public Speaker, what he looks like. I mean, how does he sound? How did he learn his skill? And you can ask him questions directly. And what we do is when they come and they do a speech, then we have a panel, and then we have questions in the chat on Zoom. And when they put the question, what we do is we don't just read off the question and ask the speaker the question. We actually bring them and we spotlight the person who's asking the question, and we ask them, you ask the question directly to the speaker. So we spotlight the two side by side, you know, the international champion speaker and the person who's asking the question, which they would have never got a chance to speak to this international speaker elsewhere. And now they get a chance to speak to him one-on-one. And that's a thrill for them, you know, and so that's what brings people back together. That's when guests will join your club, when they say, oh, in this club, I got the opportunity to talk to the World Championship of Public Speaking. I was right next to him. Okay, so it was electronic, but they were there, you know, eye to eye and speaking to this person, and they got a reply back. And so that attracts them to come back and to join your membership. That's how we grew our membership, simply like that. Okay. Now, here's the other thing. Let's move on to, so we've done the social media and getting the guests in. Let's look at the other things in the club and what goes in the club. The club culture has to be the right culture. Now, what I mean by that, the right culture, I mean, we have our 4 values, right? Integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And I want to specifically look at service and excellence. And that actually is focused on the quality of the club, service and excellence, how you serve and how you excel at your service. That brings the quality of the club up. So when you are starting a meeting, and when I'm invited to, and I get invited to a lot of clubs in my district, and when I enter a Zoom room and they let me into the room, I look at my clock, at my watch. And if they don't greet me in the next 30 seconds when I get in the room, it's not a great quality club. If I find when I enter the room that they're talking about who's going to be on the agenda, or they're having their own conversation amongst themselves and they haven't said hello to me, that's a bad sign. Guests are very, very important. Your connection, your conversations between members are not important at the time that the guests are entering. If you guys want to talk, open the room half an hour before, 3/4 of an hour before. So at my club, the meeting starts at 9:30 in the morning. We open the door at 8:45. People come in, test the technology. They can have a conversation with each other. Whatever they want to do, they finalize it beforehand. The agenda, we never even talk about the agenda, because the agenda is completed 3-4 days before, and we know that the people will be there and they're committed. So we don't even talk about the agenda. A lot of clubs, when I go to their club meetings, they're talking about the agenda, they're talking amongst themselves and having fun, and they forget the guests. Because you want the guests to have that first impression, that first 30-second impression. Remember, the first 30 seconds, actually that's the first 10 seconds these days, because the attention span is enough to drive away members. Because we are on the online environment, a guest will come to your meeting. They probably have been to 10 other meetings and they're comparing, right? Was I greeted? It's unconsciously, they already compared in 30 seconds. Was I greeted well? Was I made welcome? Did they ask me my name? Did they ask me, why I'm there, and so on? And if that is not present, they may stay for the meeting, but they will not come back. So high quality meetings means starting on time, but total focus for the first 15 minutes before you start. If you're starting them is 7 o'clock, it starts at 7 o'clock. At 6:45, you're ready for the guests. Even if you're 10 members, you haven't seen each other for a year, you're actually waiting for the guests, not for each other to have a conversation. That should happen elsewhere or before time. That is a must. Ask the guests, what brought you here? What's your name? Where are you from? How can we help you? And then say, okay, the agenda is in the chat. Please have a look at the agenda. The meeting will follow exactly per the agenda. We'll try and as best as we can to follow the timeline. And when you finish the meeting, you tell them, we will ask you for your opinion, right? Or how you like the meeting. So at the end of the meeting, always call back on the guests before you adjourn the meeting. Before you adjourn the meeting, call on the guest and say, how did you find the meeting? Question 1, how did you find the meeting? Did you find what you were looking for here? And at the beginning of the meeting, you already asked them why they came here. So they came for, I want to do a presentation in my boardroom, I want to speak at my daughter's wedding, or whatever it is. You say, did you find what you were looking for? Would you be able to do a presentation at your boardroom if you came here and practiced what you saw here today? Right? And they will say yes. So the third question is, what would it take for you to be a member? How can we help you to become a member? Period. That's the closing question. And if you don't have time for all that because, you know, you've got a number of guests and so on, in the chat throughout the meeting, put a link to a guest book, and the Toastmaster of the day or the chair of the meeting should ask the guest to fill in that guest book, so that if you don't have time at the end to ask them, you can follow up because they've filled in the guest book. So follow up afterwards and say, can we have a Zoom chat? So the vice president of membership or the vice president of membership's committee members would contact the guest and say, can we have a Zoom chat? And then ask them those 3 same questions, you know. Of course, be genuinely interested in the person. Try and understand where they're coming from before, you know, don't try and oversell. You don't have to oversell Toastmasters. They came looking for you, right? If they entered the room and if they were not invited by somebody and they just came willingly by themselves, that means they are looking for something already. And the best product is service and excellence, because every club will allow you to speak and do table topics and do an evaluation and so on. So what is different about you is how you connect with your guests. That is very, very important. And if you connect well with your guests when they join, it is also a retention tool. They'll be with you a longer period of time if you treated them well and you were genuinely interested at the beginning, right from day one. And as soon as they joined, you put them on the agenda the following week. They were on the agenda. So if they were a brand new member, how can you have somebody who came, for example, your meeting is on, today's what, Monday? They came on a Monday. How can you have them on the agenda next week, Monday? Simple, you know, during the week, they'll make a payment and the VP of membership will arrange that. VP of education will connect with them instantaneously the same day, assign them a mentor, get the mentor to say, okay, here's the Quizmaster role. I'll put you on the agenda next week. Bang, you are ready. And so they've been coached by the mentor before they come to the meeting, and everything has been arranged for them. And they come to the meeting, they know what to do as a Quizmaster. And Quizmaster is the simplest. If you don't have a Quizmaster, timer is a little bit more difficult on an online environment because you have to show colors and lights and all that, and they may have to be prepared for that rather than, you know, the physical lights. So they may be a little bit off, but maybe grammarian role if it's explained well. But the Quizmaster, if you have a Quizmaster in your club, is the easiest to start with. And then, of course, have them get engaged with an icebreaker. So as soon as they get engaged and they're getting engaged at the very beginning, it is a great retention tool that they will stay for a longer period of time with your club because of this experience that they had when they first began. That is very, very important. If the experience wasn't great, they may stay on, but they won't last that long. But if the experience was great at the beginning, they will stay at least 18, which is the average shelf life, by the way, of a member, as you know, from Toastmasters International, 18 months, but you want them to stay even longer. Your job should be, how can I get this member to stay for 3 years, right? And so the better the experience, the greater the greater will be the affinity to stay and connected with you. So, and if they're having fun at your meetings, they will stay a longer period of time. So those are some of the strategies. And I hope you don't mind, we go a little bit over time, Wesley, if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
If you guys are all having fun, of course. If you're not, then we can call it a day if I'm boring you.
This is marvelous. This is marvelous, Bram. Thank you.
So what do you guys think so far?
I think it's a great meeting. I learned, I got a great deal from this. A lot of good input, a lot of good ideas.
All right.
It's excellent information. Excellent information.
Good. Thank you. Chitra, yes, you have your hand up.
Yes, yeah, great presentation. I took a lot of notes here. I have one question. I know everybody may have the same question. If because we are in a virtual Zoom, sometimes the guest will pop up late, like middle of the meeting. So in that case, what's the etiquette or what's the right thing to do?
If you remember the physical days, and I think you've been around for a while, so you must have been there for the physical days, right? So let's look at an analogy between physical days when somebody did come late, and there were times when guests did arrive late. And so what would we do? Usually the greeter is sitting at the back of the room, right? Or the sergeant at arms, and they'll make sure that they point them to an appropriate chair to sit in, right? And make them feel welcome. They'll be handed the agenda quietly while the meeting is going on, and they'll be told to keep quiet, and you whisper to them and just sit them down, right? And they will whisper, just follow the agenda. And then you'll have somebody sit next to them, or you'll have them sit next to somebody, I mean. And during the break, you will speak to them, right? And as well, as the meeting is going on, and when there's a break, when the speaker is finished and Toastmaster comes back on, he'll say, hey, we have a new person who just joined. So exactly the same in a physical world, except that there's nobody to whisper to you. But as soon as the guest enters, the Zoom master sergeant at arms would send them a private message saying, hey, welcome. Now, sometimes, of course, not everybody's looking at the chat, but if they are, they will answer back, and so on. And just make them feel welcome, and say, okay, I'm going to post the agenda again, because, you know, if they join after the agenda has been posted, they will not see anything in the chat which has happened before they join. So you can post the agenda again, and send them a private message, not a public one, because you don't want to disturb the whole meeting, everyone to start reading your messages. And then make them feel comfortable. And when the speaker has finished speaking and the Toastmaster comes back, and the Toastmasters notice there's a guest has just come in, they can be acknowledged. If not, acknowledge them at the break. Same question, what brought you here? At the break, what brought you here? If you have a break. If you don't, then just keep it to the end. What brought you here? Why are you here? How can we help you? And then the follow-up questions, right? Depending on what time they came in the meeting. If not, ask them to come back the next week and tell them what time you normally begin. They may not know the time you began, or they may have been delayed, as it might happen, and urge them to come a bit earlier so that they can get the full benefit of the meeting. And that's how you take it. Does it help? All right. We have Aura has got her hand up. Hi, Aura.
Yes, I was going to say, this past week, we had that same exact thing happen. We had a member, person who had come in, had not been invited by anybody, just saw the thing on the Facebook and decided to come. I happened to be Toastmaster, and so when he came in, the VPE had done exactly what you said, texted him a private message, welcome, we're glad that you're here. When we get a break, we will have you introduce yourself. So the break did come up. There was a break in between the two speeches, and I asked him to introduce himself and just take a minute or two why he was there. And so we, everybody kind of chimed in. We all applauded him, glad that he came, just made him feel welcome.
Awesome. Yes.
And at the end of the meeting, we asked him if it was something he thought he might continue. Before the evening was through, he had an email with all the flyers and what the everything is about, and also how much it would cost to pay to join. And he got a phone call the next day by the VPE, and he's going to be coming back again next time we meet. So that worked. What you're saying, that does work, and it was very successful for our club on that, last night.
Michelle, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's just, yes, absolutely. That is the strategy. Make people feel welcome, be warm, be genuine, be interested in them, and you never know after that. You've done your part. You've done your part in service and excellence, right? Yeah.
So,
sorry,
I have a question. So
yes, Laura.
I know that one of the things that we have a problem with, because we are hybrid, is incorporating both sides, both the in-person and the virtual people, because it seems like there's a disconnect. And I don't really know how to pair that. Like, do we show the rest of the room with the people that are in person, or do we only show the person that's talking? And we have like a game at the end of all of our meetings. We call it the egg game, because you're throwing an egg around, and we have a story for 30 seconds, and each person adds on to the story. And it's a way to like kind of bring people out of their shell and to get them to do some improv. But how do you do that when people are online and you can't throw an egg at them to tell them it's their turn.
I've done that we've done that online. It's not that difficult.
Okay, since Wesley, you've done it online, why don't you tell us how you've done it online? And you also have your hand up, so you can as well ask a question or any comments you have.
Well, for example, this is kind of a neat way to do this. I would begin with a tall tale or with a made-up story, and I'd call on a member to continue. That member would call on a member to continue, and I'd say, "Now bring it back to me, and I'll come back with a slam bang finish." So go round robin all the way and come back to me. And then I would say something. Then the alarm clock rang, and I woke up. You know, but it was fun. We had a good time with that. It's not that difficult. It was strictly online.
Yeah, I think our problem at least is going back and forth between the in-person people and the online people, because the online people can't necessarily see all the people that are there in person.
And you're right. Sorry, Wesley, if I may just to say a little bit, and then you can share as well. But you see, an effective hybrid meeting is not easy to do. A hybrid meeting, a recommended hybrid meeting, has to have a big screen, right? So that everyone can see who's online on the screen with all the squares. And there has to be cameras at certain places in the room for the people who are in the room, so that the people who are hybrid can see the whole room appropriately through 2 or 3 different cameras placed strategically in the room. And then if you are having a hybrid meeting, I'm sure you only have one microphone on, so otherwise there'll be an echo, right? If there's several microphones. But the video camera has to be very, very important as to where it's placed and how many you have. And I've been to hybrid meetings where they've just put one laptop at one end and the room is long like this. So yeah, sure, you may be able to see everybody somehow, but the Toastmaster of the day and the speaker are speaking at the front over there, and the micro and the laptop is at the other end, and you can't hear the speaker, right? Is either. So those are some of the problems. Or where is the timer? Is the timer in the physical meeting, or are they in the hybrid, online, the timer, or and so on. So those are very many different things. That means the equipment has to be right. The cameras have to be, several of the cameras have to be present, and so on. Unfortunately, for an effective hybrid meeting.
A couple things. Number one, I didn't realize that, or you were speaking specifically of a hybrid meeting. The meeting I was speaking of was a Zoom meeting. It was much easier.
Yeah.
The other point Jessica Silhall, our webmaster, has set up these meetings so that they're automatically, all these meetings are automatically recorded the minute we sign on. But I can't speak highly enough about her, because she's just an amazing Toastmaster. But what I'm concerned about, I don't know if there's a length of time associated with these recordings. I don't know if it'll cut off automatically. I just don't know how that works. As far as I'm concerned, I'd like to go on for another hour. That'd be fine with me. But I'm not sure if there's a time limit on this recording. So we could continue until we could take a chance and just keep talking. But if it terminates abruptly, it's not me.
No, it will keep recording, and it is recording at the moment, and it will keep recording until you switch it off. So that's not a problem.
Okay.
So that's not. And is that why you had your hand up there, Wesley?
Yes, that's
addressed that. Okay. Okay, Chitra, you had your hand up.
Yes, about Aura was asking at our hybrid meeting, we added I took my cell phone and put it on the cell phone stand. That was giving, they can see the audience, but I don't know the range, but that works for us. And we had the similar problem she's talking about. that the people who are on Zoom meeting, they cannot see the in-person members. And we came up with the cell phone. So I always carry my cell phone and put it there on the stand and, focus it that way that the people who are on Zoom meeting, they can see us in person. But like I said, I don't know the range. You can kind of, try it. Maybe you need a 2 cell phone on the side or something. So try that.
So yeah, absolutely. If people have access to Wi-Fi, or if they want to use their own data and they are able to pay for it, then suddenly have 2 or 3 cell phones strategically placed.
Right. They have to,
right?
yeah, my plan, I have unlimited. So you are right. I don't care, but yeah, you have to see that too.
Otherwise it can be expensive. Yes, that's right. Anything else, Aura? Sorry about that.
No, sir, I'm gonna
those are
definitely do
limitations,
that.
right, of technology.
I didn't even think about a cell phone, but yeah, I can do that or have a laptop facing the crowd and have a cell phone facing me. That'll be great. Yay.
Awesome. Oh, great. There you go. See, when we all meet together and put our heads together, we can come up with great ideas, right? So, okay. So any other questions? And we can move a little bit further down the road. Now, the third thing is, of course, to understand why does your club exist? The why, the purpose behind the existence of your club. And also, why are you in Toastmasters that has you step forward and serve and be a leader? What is that why? What is the purpose behind it? And the most important thing is, of course, what is the purpose of the club's existence? Why do you exist as a club? And that is the biggest question. It's very easy to sell a club once you know the why of your club. Now, I'm just starting a brand new club. And at the top there, as you can see, here at the top, it says Leadership Speak. It's a brand new club. We just had one demo meeting over the weekend, but we already have a vision why we exist, world-class trend in service and excellence. And it's all going to be focused around leadership. And so we know our why. And so does this why fire our passion and our enthusiasm and gives us energy to sort of turn up at meetings and speak powerfully because of this vision? And so what is your vision of your club? Why do you exist? And does it give you power to speak? Does it give you that platform to speak and say, hey, we are what we are. We know what the service we are providing to you guests. Would you join? If you are a member, would you renew your membership? Because this is what we are. This is who we are, right? And this is what we are providing. And this is how our program is geared to. We are really focused on making sure that the evaluations you get you to the next level of leadership or next level of speaking, whatever it is that your club is geared to and focused on. There are some specialty clubs. Like, for example, I started a club a few years back called Mississauga Sales and Marketing Toastmasters Club. Mississauga is the city where I live in. So it's the Sales and Marketing Toastmasters Club geared towards sales and marketing professionals. But any member from the public can join, and people do join from all walks of life. But it's also geared towards sales and marketing people. And so, instead of thought of the day or a lesson of the day, whatever, if those are things that you do in your meetings, what we have is a thought of the day at the end of the meeting, which is called a sales and marketing tip. So at the end of the meeting, we have a sales and marketing tip. Here's what you can use in sales and marketing. And those sales and marketing professionals love it. And the other members who are not sales and marketing professionals learn something from it. And it's a very strong club in my district. I'm not a member there currently because I'm a member of MySpeak currently. But it is, I think, number 5 or number 6 strongest club in District 86. It meets on Fridays at 7 p.m. And people say, Fridays, who's going to come to your meeting on Fridays at 7 p.m.? People want to go and hit the party, right? This is before the pandemic, physical days. And we said, no, if people are interested in the service we are providing, and this is what we are providing, people will come. And it is one of the most successful clubs in the district. So it is the why. Now, most clubs, of course, are not specialty clubs. You're probably just providing communication and leadership skills, right? This is what a Toastmasters club basically does. So what's your specialty? Your specialty is we are providing communication and leadership skills and abilities, and raise that level for you here. And so you will become leaders in it themselves. Train yourselves and then train your new members to become leaders and to learn communication skills by following pathways the way it's supposed to be followed, right? And you can speak from that place. Hey, we are learning communication, we are learning leadership, and here in pathways, this is the places where we are learning communication. Here's the place in pathways where you're learning leadership. And in pathways, level 1, 2, and 3 is all about communication. Actually, level 3 is more about what's your leadership style, what's your communication style, and do you have a mentor, right? And speaking about a mentor, most of those at level 2 are those speeches, right? 1 or 2 of them are a bit different in certain pathways, because most of the pathways are that. And in level 3, it's more about communication, vocal variety, eye contact. They've moved that, I think, to level 1 or 2 of those speeches now. They've reconfigured that very, very recently. And then level 4 and level 5 are all about leadership in pathways. And so are you able to speak to that, to your guests and to your new members, as to this is what's happening in pathways and this is what we are learning? So it could be a generic Toastmasters club, nothing specific, but that's your why. That we are providing communication, we are providing leadership skills. This is where leaders are made. And here's why leaders are made: because we take care of you. We have a mentor for you. Our education program and education VP of education will make sure that you are taking roles, you are taking part in speaking, and you're engaged, and also make some fun meetings as well along the way. And that's it. And that's your tradition, that's your trademark, and people will keep coming back, even if you don't have something special like what I have up here, and you've been around for a while. You can still say, this is why I'm here, this is what I'm providing. And so members will come back to you. So it is the passion, right, about communication and leadership, really, in the end. If you're passionate about, and if you understand that communication will change the world, that leadership can change the world. I never missed a meeting. Now I do, because I'm a club growth director. Unfortunately, I'm called to the district and do all sorts of things for all the other clubs in the district. But otherwise, I never missed a meeting. Right? Because my why was very, very big. Like, I was very passionate about communication and leadership. And so I would be at every meeting, never missed a meeting.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Bram Manom, for a most wonderful, wonderful presentation. This has been absolutely excellent. We could continue going on with this. I mean, it'd be fine with me. Does anyone have any other input?
No, I would just like to, just like you said, I want to personally thank DTM Bram as far as his presentation, excellent points. And I'm so glad that my mentee that I am working with Troy University is on the line, so she can garner and see a few things as we continue to try to make our club as good as well. And again, for the members of VA Voices being present tonight. Again, I'm just so pleased that we had several individuals come out that we can have this conversation. And it's been a conversation. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Thank you, Wesley.
My pleasure, sir. The gratitude is entirely mine. I dare say it's entirely ours. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right.
If there are no further questions that you have of Bram, we could come to a close.
I think we should come to a close because it's getting a bit late, right? It was more than an hour we promised. So I can keep going, but I think we have a time limitation here. And please, you know, if you have any questions, pass it on to Wesley, and you can always come and meet with me on Zoom, and we can talk even more at some other
Be
point.
happy
If
to.
you're stuck, but absolutely, you're more than welcome. I'm here to serve all Toastmasters globally, not just my district, anyone, anywhere, anytime. So,
Thank you,
Nora,
sir.
don't forget
Thank you
to
so
connect with
much.
Wesley so that I can connect you with the Stephanie Lamb, University of Guelph, the one who started that club, and she has some great tips for you if you wish. So please do connect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chitra. Thank you. It's good to meet you again the second time around here, and hope to meet you again in the future at other events. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm off. Thank you very much, all. Have a great night. It's been a pleasure.
Yes. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.